Hey y'all, what is going on? This is Koi, the creative doula, right? And I'm the owner of this channel. Queen Koi is in the building, and I'm here to bring to you an energy scope for the season. I was about to say month, the season of Gemini. Shout out to my Geminis. Happy birthday, happy born day. Woo woo. Y'all already know. If you don't know, I'm a Gemini sun. So yeah. Hold on. Get this music right. Sorry, I do need some vibes. But anyway, yeah, so if you don't know, I am a Gemini sun. Okay. And I just want to share with you some things to look out for during this season for your entrepreneurship, for your well-being. This is a channel for creative wellness and soul care that really helps you connect with your soul and find more value in self-reflecting and honoring your time that's needed for you and your soul. So, in this video, we're going to be going over some of the energies in general, what you can expect for these energies, right, in the season of Gemini. And then we're going to be talking about the full moon, the new moon. I'm going to touch base a little bit on Jupiter in Gemini. I want to stop being so shy about my astrology knowledge. I'm not an amateur, but I'm not savant. I know that's a real high word to say, but I want to share with y'all that because I do dabble up into the astrology and I love mixing it into tarot. So with that further said, a lot of times I don't know all the stuff that's going on, but I do know Jupiter is in Gemini, I believe right now actually, and it's plays a big part in this full moon that's happening in the rest of the season. So I want to touch base on that, and then we're going to get into all the signs. I'm going to share a special message for each sign, sun, moon, and rising, for you to just take with that energy of something personal, almost like a little mini reading, but not really, because this is, of course, a general message to whoever sees fit, okay? And with that being said, I'd love for you to comment below, be prepared, like anything that resonates with you, leave a little mini review, write something. If you know me and don't know what to say what up, all right? And yeah, so we're going to get into a promo, and then we're going to get into this, okay? So shameless plug time, y'all. I am actually going to be hosting my very own Ignite Your Passions, and it's all about the creative soul, the artist, tapping into the wellspring of creative abundance, right? But also finding out how to create a unique business offer. And a lot of times people are like, well, I have a product or I have a service already, but what makes it stand out for you, right? What allows your ideas to really meet that target, that goal, to really be birthed into your reality the way that you see fit, that aligns with your goals and actually can make some money off of your passions, right? This is a way that I like to share with you tidbits on taking care of yourself and creative activities that really get the gear going and allow you to really tap into your purpose, right? Adding more purpose to your passions and your goals so you can actually really have this niche, unique business offer that can be your cash cow, right? And all the other things will just be that low hanging fruit. Okay. So if you like that and you'd like to check that out, definitely check out the link below. Open enrollment right now as we speak. And I also have, I'm also opening. It's just about open. It's going to open on my birthday, y'all. And you'll find that out. If you haven't already, just sign up. You'll get a free Intro to Soul Care ebook that I wrote. And you'll also be introduced into receiving a Soul Care 7-day free pass that you can explore the Wellness Wonderland group, okay? And that's all about the healers, the artists. Well, I believe that all creative entrepreneurs are healers. All artists are healers. But I know that our creativity doesn't necessarily stand on the creative arts. Sometimes it just stems from the creative arts, right? So however you see fit, there's also a healing arts. Those that don't know, right? And this is something that I want y'all to connect and grow and network together in. All right. So us healers are healing each other. We're in the group, and I'd love to invite y'all. Okay. Let's get into the season of Gemini. All right. So what I got for this general message for the season of Gemini really is reigning true to your purposes, right? Your devotion towards self, your devotion towards what you're creating, right? Really being devoted, being committed, right? Being like in marriage with this, because us Geminis, right? The reason why we are the lovers of the tarot card, the twin flames of the tarot card, is because we do connect divinely, right, with the reality. We bring the heavens to the earth, right? And some may say to the sub below, right? The devil and the angel sitting on each shoulder. And we're very aware of a lot of things, right? Multiple aspects. We will be able to, we have a gift of seeing 360, 360, right? But a lot of times it's like you're so busy trying to help somebody else, you're not helping yourself, right? Or you're so busy trying to see all the angles, you're missing this small detail. Let's talk about Gemini for a second before we even like go into this, right? But Gemini's like mantra, right, or affirmation is I think. And Geminis, we're the bringer of messages, the bringer of knowledge. We're very cerebral, but very cerebral, right? And keywords that acknowledge the term of Gemini is sociable, flirtatious, playful, right? Scattered, restless, adaptable, curious, impatient, and intellectual, okay? Because we see the fine details and see things that are more on spot instead of the opposite, right? Our polar opposite, which is Sag. And we'll get into Sag, right? Because I want to share that Gemini, each zodiac is ruled by a planet. And Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which is also shared by Virgo. But this is our time right now. So Virgo, get back. No, I'm just playing. But Mercury, right? It rules the thoughts and communication. You get it? Right? And it also helps you understand how to analyze things, and it speaks on how you receive messages, whether it's spiritually, intuitively, or just through communication. But it's very cerebral, right? It is the messenger. As what was that, Greeks? I don't know, y'all. I'm not gonna get into that. But our polar opposite, right, is Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. Okay, and Sag's affirmation is I seek. They are the seekers. They love adventure. Some keywords are freedom, optimistic, spirited, honest, upfront, indulgent, generous, and a learner, right? They see the big picture. They're ruled by Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is what we were told, the biggest planet in our solar system, right? And Jupiter, because it's so big, it's very generous, and it brings good luck too, but it also is expansive, okay? So sometimes when you think about it, all good things aren't really, let me just give you a key here, right? You win the lottery. That's really good to a lot of people, right? But it may be bad because it's too much, right? Too much responsibilities, too much money that you can handle that you're not prepared to utilize in certain resources to increase, right? And to invest in to make your money have babies, okay? Like, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes Jupiter can be, um, a little too much. Too much of something can be a bad thing. But overall, Jupiter does bring luck, right? Faith, the expansion we spoke about, and spiritual growth, right? it searches for individual meaning towards oneself, where Gemini can just be like, well, I'm searching for things without meaning. Like the best thing a Gemini can really have, I feel like a mature Gemini really can have purpose towards what they're seeking. And a lot of times Sagittarius bring this out, or vice versa. Because with Sages, right, sometimes Geminis can see the small details and could be like, oh, Sag, you're faking the funk. And Sagittarius would be highly upset, right? Because they are the bringers of truth, right? It is about honesty and keeping it real. As I'm sure if you know a Sag, they keep it real. They don't hold their tongue. And Gemini could see and read between the lines from the small things, right? And it's like, you forgot this detail, you forgot this detail. And Sagittarius, like, I don't give up about that. Like, I'm just trying to get to where I need to go, but forgetting about all the other things. And they're just lottie dying, like, oh, this is what it is. But like Gemini is telling you, but you forgot, like, you forgot to check your tires before you got in the car. And now you have a flat, So polar opposites can bump heads. And when you look at just the sun sign, it doesn't do you that much justice, because we are all human beings, right? But we do have starlight within us. And we were all had the stars lined up a certain way when we were all birthed, right? So honestly, even a twin isn't the same, you know? So without that being said, right? Or with that being said, I'll say, this overall energy, right? Because this new moon, this full moon, as I'm recording right now, is today. And the full moons, they heighten things, right? Like they bring the waters of our oceans on this planet even higher. Our high tides are even higher now because of the full moon. And what that does within us, because we are, I'll just say, over 50% water, right? Our bodies hold water. Um, we get a little bit emotional sometimes, and that emotion comes out depending how the hell the moon hits your your what is that, your chart, and just affects your body in general, right? And it's also it brings things to light, right? It illuminates things, right? It's such a beauty to see that, because it brightens up the sky. I've never been like camping during a full moon, or in a dark space during a full moon. Actually, I have one time, but it was on someone's property. And like, I'm thinking of like camping as being in the woods. It can be really dark, right? Because there's no like lights. And I'm sure for a full moon, that's what the light would be, to light up the sky. Actually, yesterday I went to the beach. Um, it was nighttime. I just felt like going by the beach. I love going by the beach, and I'm very thankful to be in walking distance to the beach where I live. I was raised in this area, and does that. And I never noticed, I don't think I could recall being at the beach on a full moon, and where I was didn't really have that much street lights, which was weird. And I'm like, yo, why is it so dark? But the moon was just beaming. And I decided to go on the beach near the water, and it was so beautiful because, like, the moon's reflection on the water, everything was really dark, right? But the moon's reflection you could still see, and those waves was hitting. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's a culmination of what seeds you plant during the new moon, because the new moon actually has the dark energy. It's when we can't see the moon, and we actually have the dark side of the moon, basically. Well, not really the dark side of the moon, but it we don't see it, basically, right? So it's like, what's going on here? And it's really time for introspect when you're following the moon patterns. And it's best to do that anytime you're starting something new anyway, because especially if you're trying to change something, like, how do you know what to change if you don't go within, right? Even though we do that sometimes, because I know I have done that before. But sometimes the new moon represents a clean slate because it's a new season. Okay. So without all that being said, how does this affect the Gemini season, right? It affects this because we're right now in a heightened time of change within communication, change even within social media, because Gemini is it rules social media pretty much because it's a sociable, bubbly, person, right? Or character, I would say. He's not a person. Zodiac sign is not a person. Remember that. It's the energy of which is ruled by the planet. And it's twins, right? Because it's polar opposites. And I feel that twins can be chatty. Not all twins as in persona, but if you're Gemini, you know it's like communication all the time. We really thrive with communication. And if you're not communicating to others, you're communicating to yourself. This mind does not turn off. And because we can see all these sides, right? Within this Gemini season, we need to really realize, like, what do you think is valuable for yourself and where you're moving forward as a creative entrepreneur, as an artist, as a healer? Right? Talk it through, like, talk through the process of how you're going to make these goals happen. That would be very beneficial for you. And by doing that, it's really like partnering with spirit, first and foremost, partnering with your extra twin and your understanding so you can actually see the bigger picture, like Sag does. And during this full moon, the bigger picture can and will illuminate some things. Okay, so I have this card right here and using my cards. This is a prototype, so I really don't like showing this, but we're going to show it today. And it really talks about like devotion, marriage, and oath, and partnership and union. And like I was saying before in the tarot, right? Gemini is the lover's card, and it's also masculine energy and feminine energy. And we actually have the yin card right here, which is very receptive, which is very creative, which is the divine feminine energy. And sometimes the divine feminine energy, because she's listening to her intuition, she has to be patient with herself and wait for things because she's having this communication with the divine so she can actually know when to tap on the masculine shoulder, which is more extrovert, and saying it's time to go, it's time to make these things happen, it's time to get it going, right? And it's that divine dance, right, between the masculine and the feminine energy, which we all have regardless of the gender. I'm just using she because that's what I want to do. So we're really trying to cut the cords around confusion because Geminis confuse themselves quite frequently. I can attest to that. And I'm sure other Geminis can too. Again, if you could see 360 like all the time, wouldn't you think you get dizzy? This is why they distract themselves by helping other people instead of themselves and grounding themselves into what they need to do with their purpose. We are air signs and we're constantly having ideas, right? But we need that fire, that purpose, that spirit that Sagittarius brings to the table, that's optimistic and allows us to have faith into something, right? You can have faith in the ladybug crawling up the daggone wall that you are looking at, right? It doesn't matter. Like faith, sometimes people get confused, like, oh, it's religious, it's this, is that. I'm glad this is on still. And faith is definitely connected to religion because that's the moving force that allows you to connect with God, right? But if whatever you have faith in is going to be that moving force to see things through, the perseverance, the determination, that all comes with faith. And what do you have faith in? Gemini is asking us to have faith in ourselves, have faith in our dreams. We have this trust here. And it's really like Do you have trust within the change that has been happening over a multitude of years, or maybe from last season, right? And a lot of, like, when you're in this, you're in it. I don't think a caterpillar actually recognizes they're a butterfly until they're actually flying. You know what I mean? And that's why I love to promote, to celebrate your wins, the small wins, because just like a caterpillar, it just makes small movements. It's on ground, right? It's inching. But when they're in that cocoon, they have to be patient with themselves. When they get the wings, I don't know if they celebrate it, right? But it's like, since we're human, it's like, damn it, I have wings. I can actually fly. Celebrate that shit. Have gratitude for the fact that the stuff changed, because now you can actually expand your wings and travel even further. And this is so Sagittarian as I'm speaking this, because it's expanded. You no longer like move inch by inch, you're moving mile by mile now. But you won't really realize that until you actually notice you have grown wings and have gratitude for celebrating that stuff. Um, it's like I used to journal a lot and I didn't really start looking back at my journals. Sometimes I thought it brought like whack feelings, right? But then when I actually started looking at it as a way of celebrating what I've been through, the game changed. It just changed. This is what I'm talking about, cutting the cords. Like whatever has been trying to control you, right? Whether it be the divine that's controlling you on your path of entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship is spiritual journey, right? It's guiding you what you know best. What's being seen above on a bird's eye view, you can't see. Again, the caterpillar can't see what the butterfly is seeing, because the butterfly actually has wings and it doesn't walk on the ground anymore. So the confusion, there's clarity, there's messages, there's divine intuition coming into us during this season, especially around our goals, especially around these things that we may have been defensive about and um, really confused, right? I also want to say during this full moon that we're experiencing, there's a lot of things that we're going to be need to coming out, right? Gemini season experiences spring and summer, right? Yes. Moving from Gemini into Cancer, it experiences that. And, you know, school's ending. I really hope that this isn't like messed up. I might put this here, y'all. I hope that your ears aren't hurting. School is ending, right? Um, our work somewhat dies down, depending what type of jobs you have, right? But needless to say, the days get longer and we're outside a little bit more, right? And the sun gets closer to where you are in summer and things become more illuminated too. So whatever you've been hiding, right? If you've been hiding what you've been working on, if you've just been hiding your feelings, if you've been hiding um your gifts, it's time to bring that out and let your hair down a little bit and be a little bit less defensive, okay? Because what's I just heard, what you're seeking is seeking you. And if you're looking at that in a pessimistic way, right? You might be like, damn, I'm feeling like people are after me, being hunted, right? Type of thing. But if you can remember the goal that you had in the first place, you want to be seen. So if you want to be seen, how people going to be seeing you if you up in this tent like this, right? I don't think so. I think I want to hold this because I really don't want y'all's ears to be feeling like whatever. So I really think that it's time to ground these ideas, move forward, right? There's no need to just sit still and ponder or hesitate like, should I go? Should I not? Persevere through this. The Seven of Wands definitely speaks on persevering, right? And boundaries. And with the King of Swords up in here, an air sign, a cerebral card, you will see things through because you will get the knowledge that you need to move forward during this full moon. If you don't allow your emotions to get the best of you, okay? And now during this new moon that's coming up in June 6th, I believe. I think it is, right? I'm here in New Jersey, so um the new moon is really asking you to move to calmer waters because we have the 6 of Swords here. There is something that is going to be able to lift you up out of a situation that you finally have been like waiting for. I really do think this is an ominous, is that the word? Definitely optimistic time. With Gemini and Sagittarius dancing, being playful and seeing eye to eye in terms, right? Because we also have this Empress card, right? And the Empress is the bringer of all abundance because she sees her value. She knows her worth and she's creative as AF, right? She's magical within herself because she takes care of herself. And she's the nurturer. She doesn't feel afraid to nurture anyone because she knows how to take care of herself, right? Replenish herself. So I do think that with this replenish of knowledge, you're ready to move forward. You're ready to ground in what you need. And you're ready to receive these offers that you've been waiting for, whether spirit is asking, like giving these things to you, whether it's your target audience, right? And shameless plug, whether you are in my program, finally getting these answers and ready to connect with valuable clients and customers that see your worth and is ready to spend that money with you, okay? Because that's what my program is about. And that's what I know I help people because I've been doing this for a long time. And I've been doing this I remember years ago when I was doing $50 logos and people was really asking me for a discount. And, you know, I don't know how they're, well, some of them I know are doing very damn well, actually. And it's just kind of like, it used to make me feel like, damn, like, why is my money messed up, right? But I'm bringing this to share with you. If you're feeling like that, this is the best time to really just understand what it is that you want to change and trust and have faith that the universe has your back. Right? I'm surprised that the Fool card isn't up in here. But have faith to move forward. Have faith in yourself, right? Disregard the self-doubt and the confusion because sometimes the confusion is needed within the creative process because that allows you to start doing the trial and error. There is a process all the time with creativity. Just like you don't have the baby the first day you get pregnant, right? I don't think that happens. It's just not nature. It's not natural. It's not how it works in this realm. It takes some time. And it takes for the stars to align too. And I do think that the stars are aligning for us Geminis. I think the stars are aligning for people that have strong placements in Geminis, that have really beneficial, harmonious energies, like with certain planets of Mercury and Jupiter. And I just also think that in a mundane sense or way, if you've been really trusting and committing towards yourself and you feel that you're at a block right now and you're realizing how maybe you're still a little bit defensive, maybe you're still pushing yourself a little bit too hard where you feel tired, right? Let your hair down, relax a little bit, and have some fun because the answers are going to come and you're going to finally see something tangible that you can actually move forward to and be that gift to others or actually receive a gift from someone that is very important, that is very valuable. Okay. So we're in about, I don't know, going on 30 minutes. I forgot to do I forgot to do my chakra affirmation cards. So I just want to bring the aspect of the energy with my chakra affirmations just to seal it in on the general message, okay? So what chakra, what energy is really coming forward during this Gemini season? Ooh, nice. Sacral. The sacral. It did land in the shadow recognition, and it says, I don't have permission to be happy. I'm uninspired. That's a lie. If anybody resonates with this shadow, explore why you are feeling uninspired. Explore why you feel like you don't have permission to be happy. Like, do you feel that you're used to sacrificing so much? Because I know there was a long streak of me just working and working. And I remember one of my coaches at the time was like, do you feel that you have permission to like be happy, to go on a trip, to do things for yourself? And it made me think of how I remember telling myself, because I was an OG sneakerhead, right? And not only because I didn't have that much money, but I was really used to buying, like spending my money on shoes and stuff. I really didn't like, I didn't really need to, but I like to look flashy, you know what I'm saying? And I just felt like being more mature and responsible was like, don't spend your money on that stuff. Spend your money on things that go back to you or your business. And it was just a long time that I didn't actually, like, I was roughing it, y'all. And it was just like, I remember I said, I'm not going to, when I get enough money, right? When I'm actually making it in my mind at that time, I'll be able to spend money on myself. And I had to look at that. It was a limiting belief where it's like, girl, if you don't spend some money on some new things, like, it's okay to look good. It's okay to take care of yourself. And it's damn sure okay to be happy. Because I kept thinking in my mind that I was failing and I wasn't actually at this successful mark where I wanted to be. But that's the word, that's what success does to you at times. That word is really personable. It's not really as generalized as America or people make it to be. It's not flashy cars. It's not money, millions. It's not always that. I think at its bare minimum, success is meeting a goal and being efficient enough to actually see that it works, right? Um, but how can you actually see the goal through if you're not taking care of yourself? And the light activation for this is I nurture my inner child's imagination. That's it. I nurture my inner child's imagination. When we're creating, the inner child rules that realm. Okay, it's very jovial, it's playful. You want to be having fun when you're creating things. I mean, like, let's face it, when we're creating babies, I'm sure you had a lot of fun that night, right? So it's really nurturing yourself, feeling good, and being not only with soul care, but physically healthy, right? Because wealth equals health. And if you're not seeing your creativity in a good way, in a healthy way, in a vibrant, abundant way, then how are you really seeing yourself? Okay? So we got this sacral energy, straight, sensual, really good energy, y'all. Let's get into these zodiac signs, okay? Let's grab this. We're going to tap in, okay? All right. Of course, we're starting with Gemini because it's our season, okay? So, what do you need to hear right now for your entrepreneur path? All right. What type of creative message is going to help you towards that, whatever you're making? Gemini, let's go. This one wants to come out. All right. What do we need to be in order to achieve this? Okay. All right. So, we all have light and dark inside of us. I was just talking about that earlier, right? What matters is the part we choose to act on, right? And then we also have this goddess that is here, and she actually represents shame. I'm looking at this down here, and it's really about grounding. And you notice how she has a crown and she's adorned, but it's like, are you seeing your value? Whatever you've been going through, Gemini, especially in the realm of creating something new, it has more than likely been very treacherous for you, right? But I need you to know that releasing the shame will definitely release the guilt. Like, shame does this funny thing of telling us that we're not good enough, we don't deserve certain things, and we're a bad person. And it's very sneaky because the underlying of that is um, truly disconnecting with the truth of your identity. Okay? And like this card said, that we all have light and dark inside of us. It chooses, like, what matters is what we act on. If we haven't been acting on certain things because of the shame of whatever your story is, it's time to work on that. And I'm not going to sit here and say, just let it go. No, because shame is very deep rooted, and it takes work for that to happen. This is so annoying, but I have the free version of um, YouTube. So anyway, I don't know if you hear the music in the background, but needless to say, like, get rid of the distractions, see your value, and really, like, take a list. Like, what do you really want to throw out? Right? What limiting beliefs do you want to throw out that's stopping you and that has been blocking you from creating new things? And if you've already been in the midst of creating something that your heart desires, know that, don't be ashamed of being who you are. And it's reminding me of, like, in the beginning of my spiritual journey, I remember this girl told me, she was like, you know, I just want to say this because I feel guided to say this. Spirituality doesn't look like a certain way. Like, you don't have to have your head wrapped. You don't have to be holier than thou. You know, you can still, like, shake your ass and whatever. There's plenty of people, right? Especially in the movies, they'll be like saying the sign of the cross before they die. And honestly, that's a whole nother esoteric thing that I could get into, but I'm not. But needless to say, like, we all sin. We all do things that are mistaken. And I can't stand the word sin because it actually shames. It puts shames on people. It devalues you of what your true sense of self is. And it really disconnects and messes with your identity and can throw imposter syndrome around things and all that, right? But I need you to know, Gemini, that um, this is your season. You're wearing the crown, okay? And sit with yourself, feel safe within your body, go to your sacred space. Because I just keep looking at that red on her lap. Feel grounded in what you're doing. And if you don't, continue to do that. Work on certain tools that help you feel safe and grounded and secure with your mission, secure with your purpose, secure with what you're creating, so you can give and be the person that you are, right? Hands down, whether it's like or it's yay, you know. What's also coming to my mind right now that's been really helping me is, if it's not a hell yes, it's a fuck no. Period. Okay, so if you're feeling indecisive, go by that mantra, but don't throw shade on yourself in the process. Celebrate the small wins, move forward, because eventually it amounts to big wins. You'll see your stuff and you definitely will see your worth for sure, Gemini. So stay with that. Honor yourself and honor the things that you love to identify with, so you can truly embrace your soul, your mind, body, and heart, and feel more aligned in your path of where you're going, okay? That's for you, Gemini. All right, let's tap into Cancer. Okay, that's way too many cards, Cancer. Okay. All right, Cancer. Okay. Etheric chords. Interesting. And I don't know if there's a special message for you, Cancer, if you're a mother out here, or a parent listening to this. The habits you made to survive will no longer serve you when it's time to thrive. Just looking at this is just giving me big, nurturing, mothering energy, especially with the sacral that is here in place. It's kind of like, again, this is sun, moon, and rising signs. So if you're not a Cancer sun, Cancer moon, or Cancer rising, there's something about motherhood. I feel like they're saying like this is a specific message for someone that there's something around motherhood that you haven't quite cut the cords for your own mother, and you're kind of repeating some type of pattern towards your own parenting, and they just want you to look at that and not feel um, bad about that. And um, knowing what being aware is half the battle, and this may take some time, but at the end of the day, this is time for you to release this, especially during this full moon. But it may continue on throughout Gemini season. Um, this has been affecting the way that you create as well. Maybe you've been burnt out, right? Maybe you just haven't been nourishing yourself enough to feel alive, to feel the permission to be happy, right? And it's definitely dampening the vibes of feeling free to create, and totally um effing with you in your business if you're trying to create a business or have one. Um if you're not a mother or have is feeling like that's not resonating with you, I do think that nourishing yourself more during this Gemini season will allow you to prepare for your season or Cancer season to really just put you in the right mood to create something. Because when you're not in the right mood, Cancer, it can be very shitty. It can be very like, rah, right? And it can just feel like, I don't want to do anything right now. Don't let other people's energy dampen your mood or your flow, right? Nourish yourself. You know how to nurture other people. Turn that energy on you, okay? Give yourself permission to be pampered by you, so then you can actually put out what you're trying to do. And it'll give you some more ideas on how you want to build your business as well. It'll definitely do that, because there's a cycle that's going on surviving and survival mode even, and you're feeling like you can't level up, go up the steps with whatever you're trying to do and whatever you're trying to create. And there's a need for you to just allow yourself to step back, even if it's more steps than you need to, so you can actually see the bigger picture, to see where you need to go, and just take a breath, right? Just calm it down and rejuvenate your energy for whatever's ahead for you. Okay, Cancer? That's my message. Let's get into Libra. Okay, I meant to say Leo and I said Libra. Let's get into Leo. Don't know what that's about. Maybe. Okay, so yeah, let me see if it's in frame. Okay. My camera wanted to do some crazy stuff and cut me off, Leo. But let's get into the mix of this, okay? We have here speak up, and we have being humble is a knowing you don't have to prove yourself all the time. I do want to share this because this happened. Leo, you were like my camera literally, my microphone cut off first, as in speak up, so you couldn't hear me. And then on top of that, I kept going. And I got all the way to, I don't remember what sign it was, to know that I wasn't even recording. And I want to share with you, Leo, that congratulate the strength that you have, what you've been doing to keep going, right? And a lot of times you had to notice, like, break down your own pride to understand the humbleness of not having to prove how well that you know of whatever you're doing, right? I think that there is this energy around you, Leo, that is really tapped into understanding not only yourself, but understanding how to radiate and rise above whatever adversity you've been. Like, look at all of these hands behind you. I do feel that your ancestors are supporting whatever you're doing, and you're actually finally seeing your abundance. You know, you're not trying to be out here and being like, hey, like, look at me. It's just you standing up and radiating like the sun that you are, so that you can actually just continue doing the work. And you know that the right people will actually gravitate towards you. Whatever you're doing, let me put this, well, no, I don't need to put this like this. Whatever you're doing, Leo, keep doing it. And know that you don't have to tame your fire. You know, you don't have to dim your light for others. But you do have to shine bright when it's necessary for you to step into the realm of your genius, your creativity, your abundance of creativity, and abundance of talents that you have. Okay? Stand strong and be the person that you are. Be like, and I also feel like you've been really pouring into you, back into that well of big heartedness that you really are. And I feel like you don't have to bite off heads, right? Or try to prove that you are knowledgeable about something. You're doing this within the action steps that you're taking, Leo. So within this Gemini season, you're actually really invoking that sun and really showing and proving to yourself, if you haven't already, how to generate that energy within you first and foremost, so then you can actually do what you need to do to create what you're trying to create. And I think you've already seen the abundance, but now actually taking these action steps within Gemini season will allow you to actually visualize and see the thing in real time. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Leo. Much love for you. All right, Virgo, let's see what's going on with you. Let's see what's going on, Virgo. Here we go. Divine lineage. Interesting. 6. Virgo is a 6th house, too. Let's see. Virgo, what message do we have for you? Sun, moon, and rising. Old ways will not open new doors. Old ways will not open new doors. There's something that's very ancestral that I'm picking up with you, Virgo. And it's about like planting and rooting into understanding the patterns. And I kind of feel like you may have a natural knack for this and you don't know, for some of you. But for others of you, it's really about not paying attention to the other people and really looking at yourself in a non-judgmental way, first and foremost, because that will allow you to really ease into grounding what you're trying to create. I know a lot of Virgos can be caught up in the details and sometimes miss the grander scheme of things. And during this full moon in Sag, during the Gemini season, it's trying to widen your eyes to a understanding of ways that are self-loving, right? Through talking, through actions, and really soothing your emotions so you can create from a place of abundance. So you can create from a place of love, right? Instead of like distorting and severing that love. And as I'm saying, severing that love, it's just reminding me of the broken heart for some reason. Um, you may have gone through some things, right, that just felt unfair. But when you really start understanding like ancestral lineages and noticing those patterns and details, right, then you can actually see like, damn, I've lived this life too, because the ancestors are within us. They always are. And how we heal that is actually one, through self-awareness, two, by choosing to do different, and three, by having compassion towards the story, compassion towards your adversity, and compassion towards your ancestry as well. Because each generation kind of loosens the grip or has it harder. You really don't want to compare traumas, right? But you do want to understand your resources, right? So you can actually create from this place of love that I'm speaking about. Old ways won't open new doors. There's something that is in the ancestral lineage. There's something in the past, right, that may pertain to your family that allows you to see a certain pattern from them to you. And once you see this awareness, especially within this Gemini season, and let me know. I hope that y'all can come back and let me know what's going on in this Gemini season. But if not, right, if I'm resonating with something right now, please let me know. Because I kind of want to say like my past Taurus energy scope, if you check that out and see what I said then, like, was that like happening? You know what I mean? And because this is why I'm bringing this up. When you look at the past, you don't want to sit there and like lick your wounds. You want to utilize the past as a resource where you can and use tools for those from those lessons, right? And then apply it towards the present moment to build a path towards the future, if that makes sense, right? So whatever you're creating now, Virgo, I need you to know that these patterns will only stop when you're ready for them to stop and choose to move forward and choose to move forward in a more loving, less self-judgment way. Okay? So that's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope I didn't call you a different name. What is next from Virgo? Libra. Let's get into Libra. Okay. Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What do we have for you during this Gemini season? Okay. Oop. So Libra, we have secrets revealed. There's a lot of lower chakra energies, root, sacral, and solar. And then we have forgive yourself for all the mistakes that you have made. It's reminding me a little bit like Virgo is tapping into the same energy, or similar, definitely. We got Queen Sheba. Um, I kind of want to go to the book, even though I haven't went to the book. I'm looking at this might be a sunrise or a sunset. So there's something Libra that has like accumulated, and it's like going down, just kind of like this. I don't know. It could be a sunset, but there's, regardless if it's sunrise or sunset, I'm hearing the word reset, and maybe you've been like wallowing in this change that needs to happen or already happened. And from what I remember when my camera got cut off because I was just talking, didn't even know that it wasn't recording. I remember there was a point where I was talking about how a lot of times you don't even know what's happening, right? But you're caught up in the energy of your intuition, and you might still be seeing yourself as a caterpillar when you have a whole butterfly. You have whole new wings now, right? And how can a butterfly really know that they moved forward until they recognize they have wings, right? Like if you're doing if you're used to moving inch by inch, right? And you didn't really realize, because you don't really realize when you're in the thick of your crystallization, when you're in the thick of your changing, right, and metamorphosis. But when you can stop and allow the beauty of the sunrise or the sunset, when you can stop and take a rest, right, these secrets are revealed. And I'm going to say your secrets are the subconscious rising to the surface and noticing that I don't think that you've quite forgiven yourself for the things that you did in the past. I think that there's a need for you to forgive yourself because you actually have been taking steps towards change. And if you haven't already closed out this huge chapter that you've been in, know that it still takes time. You may be in the phase of the crystallization of metamorphosis, right? From caterpillar to butterfly, or you may already be that butterfly. You may have already bust out those wings yet. But if you haven't really stopped and gave yourself permission to receive, giving yourself the permission to actually change, right? Because I think there's just been an intuitive knowing to do something. And you may have done it or haven't quite done it yet. But regardless of where you're at, I think the feeling of this change won't shift until you forgive yourself. You know, forgive your path. Why did I say path? Forgive your past, right? And lean into this new past with liberation and joy of this new energy that you've been really soul desiring. Okay. Um, and watch how the beauty of your creations change, because I also think that it's put a change on the way that you're creating, or has dampened the way that you're creating. And maybe you're staring at like this project or whatever so hard and so fine-tuned that you haven't gotten a chance to really step back, smell some of the roses, and really look at what has bloomed in your life from your transition from caterpillar to butterfly. As you can see, she's resting. And I really think that she's taking a rest to understand the need to feel secure, to understand what makes her pleasurable, and to understand how much confidence she has gained from her experience. Okay? So that's what I have for you, Libra. I hope that resonates. Let me know in the comments, okay? Um, Libra, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Scorpio. Okay. Oops, sorry. Seasons. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And this is one. I think we might be flowing into a whole story here. So self-love heals the deepest wounds. And look at how the colors they do kind of match, don't they? This has a lot more green on the left, but they do match. They do match. What wants to come through for Scorpio? Scorpio, you've been in like a rough, deep, deep healing lately. And it's almost like when are you not healing, on a lower level? But I think that, okay, I'm seeing like how the top chakras from the crown to the third eye to the throat meets the heart, and then the root to the sacral to the solar plexus meets the heart. I feel like the lower levels in the heavens are actually coming to meet the heart and really tapping into your passion. It's because these deep rooted energies that you've been healing, it's kind of been keeping you unpassionate, right? Is that a word? It's you've been feeling uninspired for sure. And just feeling kind of like yuck, you know? And it is really yucky when this change is going on. This change is going on and you can't quite see it, right? You can't quite trust it because you just don't know what's going on. But I do want to say kudos to you for going into the underworld, to tapping into those things that you have not seen, and tapping into those things that were once blind to you, tapping into those ancestral, spiritual realms that were really, really needed for you to understand the psychology of things. This is your realm, but it's also a realm of death and rebirth. And I think that you're finally allowing it to be more with the rebirth instead of the death, right? It's almost like it's okay to not wear black all the time. You don't like, you're not mourning anymore. You can actually celebrate. Like, you have the permission to be happy. You have the permission to be happy. You have the permission to create again, and create again from this really deep well of knowledge and wisdom that really was shared just specifically for you. And I think that this new knowledge that you have gained from this season can really, really be a game changer to your creativity. Whether, because I kind of feel like you've been stuck in the rut. I don't think you've been creating, Scorpio. I really don't. If you have, it's really been feeling like daunting and a hard time, like you're forcing the creation. But now, if you can just kind of and like relax and really just kind of understand what happens, you can now turn this newfound knowledge with this newfound wisdom and apply it into a project that you were already doing, or a project that is totally new. Okay, that's totally what I want to hear from you. Because as I'm doing like this, I'm seeing kind of like a stream. It's almost like when someone dumps like oil in a water, right? It kind of stays in a space, and then it can also spread, right? But finally, the water cleaned itself, and you've been able to move and see through things a little bit more, and having a much more clarity with things. So that's what I have for you, Scorpio. I hope that is resonant to you. All right, Sag, let's tap into you. Sag. Oop, this landed right in my lap. Okay, make choices your future self would be proud of. And then grief. I kind of feel like this came up for you, Sag, when I was recording and not recording. I can't really remember because I got mad. I was like, yo, I really was recording for like, it had to have been at least a good 15 minutes till I realized, like, this isn't recording. Horrible. It's happened to me before, but, let me just adjust my mic. Okay, so Sag, I do think that something is really growing. Um, and I don't know if you've seen it already. Like, can you see how she's looking away from her stomach? She's not really even holding her stomach. And I think that you've been putting in so much work, right, that you forgot that the seeds were already planted. Like, look at this. There's plants all over. There's also a new moon. So there's like this cycle of whatever needed to be released to be released. Because right now, as I'm recording this, we're in the full moon. And hopefully, in the new moon, you can actually see and understand, like, yo, you haven't been really looking at all the goodness that you've been pouring into yourself and possibly others. And it's been causing this strife or grief. I really don't want to say grief. It could be, because maybe it's taken a long time coming for you to actually release some hurt that caused you to not look at the seeds that you were trying to plant in the first place, and kind of like diluted your intentions, right, on why you were doing things, but you were still moving forward anyway. But the delusion or the distortion or not looking at the intentions that you already set made you kind of like choose certain things that weren't always the greatest. And it's almost like you started playing out this cycle that you got caught in. And I think right now, Gemini season is going to highlight this cycle. Gemini season is going to show you the bits and pieces that were missed along the journey that can actually help you see the beauty in what you've been planted in the first place, and really take that even another notch up. There's a need to relax and feel um, happy about the journey, And it's almost like I'm looking at someone with their hair out in a convertible. You know, like, if you've ever been in a convertible, sometimes you really want to just put a hat on and, like, I don't know. If you're driving really fast, just kind of like, I don't think I really like all of this anymore. But for some, it's kind of like, this is fun. This is like cool. Like, yay, right? And I know Sagittarius definitely loves to have a good venture, right? But when the venture is said and done, do you remember if there was any intentions to be set anyway, right? Speaking on like creativity, for instance, because it's kind of like, where am I going with this, right? But it's kind of like, where are you aiming to go? Like, has the grief, has the sadness, has the things that hasn't really worked out the way that you wanted to see it work out really been as bad as you thought it has? And if it has, how has it been messing up the way that you've been making choices? Because maybe you've been trying to pour into other people so much you forgot about your own seeds in your own garden, right? And figure out what the particulars are needed for you to actually allow these plants to grow, right? Remember, you're pregnant with an idea. Don't allow certain choices um, to be swayed from other people. Remember where you stand, right? And remember what knowledge or wisdom you already have. Don't allow or don't even think that people can take away from you unless you're aware, you're present, and knowing that you're giving permission for people to enter this space that is really needed to be more sacred. All right. So pay attention to the seasons, because there's something with these seasons that's going on, and Gemini is going to show you this season um what's like wrapping up and really like just right like, okay, I'm not going to do this cycle no more. All right. That's what I got for you, Sag. Let's go to Capricorn. Capricorn, surrender. Surrender. Let's see, Capricorn. Okay. A lack of boundaries invites a lack of respect. Capricorn, I do want to say this. Don't shoot the messenger, but I do kind of feel like it's bringing me to like people that be wilding for respect, if you know that terminology. But sometimes people wild out, right, because they feel disrespected. But the wilding out part kind of invites more disrespect, because it's almost like that eye for an eye thing. And then it just doesn't like help anything, right? And it's almost like I'm seeing somebody like so mad, right? Like, look at this building in the background. So mad because if somebody said something or did something, and then it's like, you know what, I'm gonna tear it down then. Rah, right? And it's like, no, 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 don't do that. There's some things that you just can't change, right? There's some things that you just cannot control. And I know you can't help yourself, Capricorn, but some things it's like you really want to control, but you can't, because it's just a higher octave. It's not in your power to do that. And I feel that you've been put through the ringer because Pluto has moved out of Capricorn. And it's been in there for some years. And especially if you're a Sun Capricorn, that ego has come to an end to die, right? This ego death is really shedding new skins. You may have a whole new identity, things that you identify with, or you just have a whole new perspective on what you were identifying with in the first place. And I'm sure that has affected your creativity dearly. But I do also know that we can't get gifts, right? If our hands, like, look at how her hand is open. Her hand is open to receive. If that little girl was like, okay, how can she receive that gift, right? We have another little person here, and I don't know if you're a parent or if it's the parenting for yourself needs better boundaries, right? Because a lot of times we forget, like, oh, we have these boundaries to keep people out or keep whatever, but these boundaries are more so for yourself, so you can grow and elevate. You've been putting things in place brick by brick, and I know it hasn't been the timing that you wanted, but trust and believe things have grown, okay? And if it hasn't grown physically, Lord, it's growing mentally, it's growing emotionally. Trust that you have this groundedness in self first, right? Groundedness in yourself, so you can really deem and understand what you can and cannot control, Capricorn. And once you get that, I can't even talk. It's going to be a game changer to your creativity. I don't know if you're building a business. I don't know if you're building just like a product, but it's like I'm being seen that the process of things have been like out of order, just scattered out. And sometimes things need to be thrown all over the place. So within that process of making things more organized, you start understanding like, this is the best way, the trial and error phase. I think you're coming to, or if you already have understood, there's a certain process that's needed within your creativity. And now that you know what you need, it's time to respect those boundaries that you set for yourself in a way for you, not for other people. Okay, Capricorn? So I have that message for you. Let's go into Aquarius. Okay, woof. Aquarius, another heavy hitter. Another heavy hitter, Aquarius. I know, Aquarius, you've been through the ringer as well. You got 2 cards. Maybe we need to show 2 cards. So we will show 2 cards. Life doesn't get easier, it just gets stronger. Yeah, I'm totally hearing you're not understanding how strong you are. The shit you've been going through, Aquarius. And the love that you withhold is the pain that you carry. Look at her carrying this. Look at her holding this. Well, let's bring this message through. Because, like, if you look at this, like the spiders and the pointers of her arms, I really think that there's something that is really beautiful within you that you're holding that you've been looking at in a negative way, Aquarius. I do. I do. And it's almost like, oh, well, this always happens, or like, or like, like, I know, Aquarius, you hate to feel weak, right? But within your weaknesses, and by knowing your weaknesses, you can actually honor your strength. And your strength is to love others, the humanitarian, Aquarius, you can be very cold, right? And shut it down because you feel that you're trying to protect your heart space. But what it's doing is actually deeming certain things that are beautiful ugly. There's a need for a mindset shift, right? And when we deem certain things ugly, imagine how you deem your creativity. I've sat through a lot of courses that, like workshops that I've hosted, and I've heard people talk about their creativity like shit. And it's just like, yo, do you hear yourself? I can only imagine how you talk to yourself. And I know that in the physical, you do want a certain style and you want to create something, but sometimes we just don't have that gift, right? We don't have that gift, but we do have a God-given gift, which is a talent. And we need to refocus and look at that in the eyes of beautiful instead of something else. Because maybe someone deemed your talent, your God-given talent, like blah, instead of beautiful. And it's up to you to take that responsibility of seeing the beauty within something just because somebody else didn't see it. Hold that dear to your heart and allow that to stream into the creative genius that you have. Because there's this way of looking at things in a total different way from the norm that Aquarius can. I'm hearing like ringing right now. I don't know, whoever I'm talking to needs to hear this. But honor your gifts of that quirkiness, of that weirdness, right? Of whatever somebody said was, ugh, right? Release that, because you don't need that projection anymore. You need to stand in your own independence, Aquarius, and hold that, because that story may be painful, but until you see the beauty of that, you won't see the strength in yourself. So create more for yourself, for your healing, so you can really truly understand it, the power of the transmutation that you can put into this project, or have a powerful story behind a new project. All right? That's what I got for you, Aquarius. Much love to you. What we got after that? Pisces. Pisces, Pisces. Sun, moon, and rising. Pisces. What's going on for you in Gemini? Lord, Pisces, get it together. Gemini season. Yes. Oshun, Oshun. Let's see, Pisces. Okay, thank you. Okay, the grass is always greener on the other side until you stop watering your own. So the message is clear to me that, because Mama Oshun don't play with nurture, love, care for self. She has an abundance of self-love. And I feel that Pisces, like, please don't lick other people's wounds. Please look at your own wounds and stop looking at other people's, because it's taking from your magic. It's like you're giving your power away, and then you're being mad that, like, oh, this is happening. No, boo. Start looking in the mirror and seeing the beauty within yourself. Like, the reason why Oshun carries the mirror around is because she wants to see the beauty, right? She also wants to see realness, right? Because her magical mirror will see the present time. And if the present time is looking like, ooh, this is not looking too hot, like I'm looking tattered and battered, she then knows that the power of knowing, right, and being aware is the power of change. You can't change something if you're unaware of what to change, right? And you definitely can't change something about yourself if you're comparing, or if you're sitting there waiting and looking at other people's happiness, like, oh, I want that, I want that. No, boo. Do you really want that? Because sometimes for some of y'all actually might manifest what you think you want, and then it's like, oh, I didn't want this, right? Because Pisces, I know that you have the power of creating and manifesting very easily. And I think it's time for you to reel it back into self and nurture yourself, so you can actually do some more self-discovery and really actually be happy with what you manifest, instead of manifesting from a place of others' happiness. All right? Yeah, I'm hearing stop right there. I hope that I'm not like coming at y'all, Pisces, but I just felt like I needed to be a little stern with that, because you can create a place of milk and honey, which Oshun has, but it's like you have to know what's best for you first, not for others. I don't know if this is just particularly for the Pisces sun. I don't know. Y'all let me know in the comments. But I do want to just share with you, Pisces, that really tap into your own beauty. And by knowing yourself a little bit more, you're going to understand your own beauty. And then you're going to feel happy about the things that you can actually create and manifest, instead of, looking at like, well, I want it this way. Do you really? Because for some of y'all listening to this, y'all probably have experienced something you manifested and you thought you wanted, but you didn't. All right. So just take heed to your intuitive side and really like tune it in and nurture yourself some more. All right. Gemini season will give you that because those messages will come through for you. All right. Okay. That's what I got for you, Pisces. Aries. What do we have, Aries? Okay. Aries, what do we have for you? Creativity, Aries. A grateful heart gains many blessings. So I'm hearing, Aries, that there's something that's been happening with you, and I do think that it has been a form of transmutation. And I think that you're going to be gifted something, but you have to be careful with this gift because it's definitely going to tamper the way that you create if you don't find yourself grateful for it. Sometimes we want this change, and once it's given to us, we're like, oh, I don't think I'm worthy of it, or oh, I don't think, I don't think I deserve this. So you start getting defensive and start saying, right? But you really wanted it the whole time. But because you haven't been within your heart space, because you haven't been present with your feelings and emotions, because you haven't been grateful for certain things that you have been achieving, you're kind of distorting the gift. So, Aries, I need you to really celebrate your wins, celebrate how protected you are, right? Celebrate how much you have learned, right? And really be open to receiving. For others that have received and actually allowed your heart to open and allowed your heart to be cleansed, it's just time to have a gratitude party. Be grateful because there's been something that's been on your heart for a long time, Aries, and you really wanted to create it, but I don't think you started it. Within this Gemini season, see all these flames? Igniting time. It's time to follow your passions, Aries. Look at her beautiful smile. Like the sun, I kind of feel like the sun is rising. It could be setting. And I also think that with all your, like it says, the seven sisters, with all this newness of like groups and like people that are like rooting for you, allow that in. Allow that in because that is going to ignite your passion even more and give you more steam to just keep going. Even though you don't need that, right, Aries? I'm sure you don't need that. But if you kind of feel like you do, or don't, just be grateful for it. Be grateful for it and continue to shine bright because there is something new that's been cooking for you. And I just really want you to say to start feeling into your heart so you can start feeling that power, that fire to actually put in action with this creative spark here. So that's all I have for you, Aries. All right. And I think last but not least, Taurus. Taurus, what we got, Taurus. Okay. Okay. I don't know why this feels like deja vu. The price of anything is the amount of life you exchange for it. Taurus, I totally feel that you've been receiving and understanding your value. Because if Gemini has not entered, if Jupiter has not entered Gemini yet, it is about to. And that means that Jupiter has been sitting in Taurus for some time. And it allowed you to expand your point of view, your horizons, how you look at yourself, and most definitely how you look at the things that you possess and value. Your money, the things that you create, the things that you actually own, and seeing the price of it, right? And then also seeing the energy exchange for it. Like, was it really worth what you thought it was worth? Um, for those that are understanding this, it's harvest time. It's totally harvest time. Gemini season, you gonna be dancing. I don't know if you got a Gemini friend, but you're gonna be like, yes, it's time to celebrate. Celebrate that metamorphosis of value, right? And really exploring your beliefs and values. That's the meat and potatoes of shadow work. And that's the meat and potatoes of transformation. When you can actually look back at and find the root of why you believe this thing, right? Because first you have to be aware of like the beliefs, right? Then second, you have to be like, well, do you really believe that? And then third is like, am I ready to change that? Because for instance, what you believed last year may not exactly be what you believed today. And what you believed at 6 years old definitely ain't what you believed at 30 something years old. You feel me? It definitely is not. So self-reflection, right, is very important in the process of creating, in the process of changing things. Because then you can understand like, well, I don't feel that it's valuable, or I don't believe that I need to put in this much work for something else to receive something more valuable, right? When you're creating prices for your products, let's say, or even service, you might be like, damn, what should I price this? I don't know, right? Or will people really do this? Hmm. But regardless of what you put the price on, you want to feel valued by that. It's okay if you want to put a low price on something because you know that it's going to attract more people. So then once you attract more people, then it's like, okay, I understand this. Like I'm getting the money that I really wanted, that goal, right? Or you're setting a certain price that only a select few will get. But it still doesn't, like the numbers don't actually have to add up in that realm when you're trying to measure time, right? But if you're measuring the amount of value that you hold for what you were doing, what you were creating, it might be a different price. So this is where you explore your beliefs and values. Okay. So much love to you, Taurus, because I feel like majority of you all are getting the fact that it's time to understand my beliefs, shift my values, and do the happy dance. For those that may not be there yet, it's okay. It's coming. Trust and believe it's coming. All right. So much love to you all. Thank you so much for listening to this. I am so happy that we're in Gemini season, not only because it's my season that I share with other Geminis, but it's also because I have something really valuable that I want to share with you all. And I am so open to receive, right? Receive the support that I've been wanting and I've been yearning for, right? And the best way that you can support me is by commenting below and checking out the links below. I do have some new things popping, right? So I have a new program that helps you transform your ideas into business offers that helps you receive profits. And I also have a new group for a wellness group that can help support other people and meet other business owners and really just allow yourself to step on a podium and share what it is that you do, what it is that you're doing, and be amongst like-minded entrepreneurs, because y'all know this journey is a soul journey, and we're all here for that. Okay, so much love for you again. I will see you in the next Energyscope, and until next time, I'm Abby. Peace.